Most of the time when I'm playing games, I'm trying to do the right thing. I mean, I had to abort my Renegade playthrough of Mass Effect the first time I had to be rude to a Hanar.
You big, stupid jellyfish.
I'm sure he's trying his best. On some occasions, though, even doing the right thing results in terrible consequences for innocent NPCs, who are doomed by your good intentions. Even a small, helpful errand can leave you with more blood on your hands than a bad butcher. Join us in contemplating the 7 regrettable times we doomed innocent NPCs by helping. Enjoy and beware spoilers for the following games.
Excuse me, I can't find my mum.
For innocent NPCs that obviously deserve your help, few come more innocent or deserving than a little homeless orphan girl who has nothing in this world but a cat. Such is Yenna, who accosts you at the start of Act 3 in Baldur's Gate 3, and this had better be a good sob story, kid, because I'm 60 hours in and I was just about to reach Baldur's Gate.
She was sick. She had spots on her face and hands. She went to go get some herbs, and she was supposed to come back the same day. That was last 10 day, though.
Alright, to be fair, that is a pretty good sob story. If you're not the kind of monster who turns away hungry, orphaned level 1 humans, you'll wind up with Yenna and her cat staying in your camp, where she keeps telling you how she's going to cook for you one day.
I brought my own paring knife. Now I just need some ingredients, and I'm gonna make something really good, I promise.
This seems fine and not at all foreboding, which actually it isn't, unless at a certain point you take a certain set of party members with you, leaving Yenna back at camp, and this is where things start going wrong. Next time you stop by the camp, Yenna has finally got her act together and cooked you something, except actually, twist, that something was her cat.
I put a special meat inside. Such a sweet little kitten. Oh, how it screamed!
This would be fine, and I've definitely eaten worse on the road, except also, twist, this Yenna is really Orin the Red, the evil shapeshifter wearing a meat suit that Lady Gaga would describe as a bit much.
Look at it, crawling and sniffing and rooting around in the filth.
Okay, now I do feel a bit sick, actually.
I will not slice. Her kind die too easily.
The true Yenna, it turns out, has been kidnapped by Orin and is being held hostage at the Temple of Baal. And reaching the temple to confront Orin has you trekking all over and under the city, taking names and kicking asses, until finally you rock up to the blood-soaked temple where Yenna is laid out on a sacrificial altar ready for carving.
Hush, hush, shh. I hear footsteps, trip-trapping on the Murder Lord's stones.
No worries, you think. A simple intimidation check will sort this whole mess out. Or not? Now is the time for the camera to be tastefully pointed away while knife-loving Baal simp Orin murders little orphan Yenna, who would truly have been better off if you had kicked her out of your camp on day 1. And so would her cat. Apologies to both.
You've got plenty of bottle caps. Let me in, goddammit.
How many times do we have to go through this? You're not getting in.
I can stand here all day yelling at you through this damn speaker if I have to.
I've already told you Tenpenny won't allow zombies to live here.
Who the hell are you calling a zombie?
With some of the moral choices you'll find yourself faced with in Fallout 3, it's easy to see what the objectively good option is. For example, should you obliterate the town of Megaton with an atom bomb because it's ruining some rich guy's view? Or should you not do that? Lost karma. Huh. Interesting. Sometimes the good option is much less obvious, however, such as in the quest Tenpenny Tower that you can find while roaming the capital wasteland. Tenpenny Tower is a large luxury apartment building that looks like what you'd get if Disney's Hollywood Tower of Terror and the Haunted Mansion had a baby in the post-nuclear apocalypse. It's also the location from which you can set off that bomb we talked about a second ago. There's more going on here than just that, however, as you'll discover when you arrive and learn about a group of ghouls who want to move into the tower, led by one Roy Phillips. They want to be let into the basement so they can rampage through the building and kill everyone.
I already got a plan. They think I'm a monster? I'll show them the real monsters.
On the other side of the equation is Tower Security Chief Gustavo, who is against this whole ghoul plan and who will pay you good money to go to Roy's hideout and kill everyone there.
How's 500 bottle caps sound? Payable upon termination of that damn ghoul, Roy Phillips, and all his followers.
If, however, you are a peace-loving lone wanderer, you might want to try the diplomatic third way, in which you convince the residents of the tower to let the ghouls move in.
You horrible little zombie lover. What right do you and your disgusting buddies have to push honest, hard-working, important people around like that? Where do you propose I live?
Earning yourself a bit of good karma in the process. Love that for me. Convince everyone in the tower and you get a reward, the ghouls move in and everyone seems happy. You can go off about your business content in the knowledge that you did some good here in the wasteland today.
Yeah, glad to see you were able to convince these people to open their minds a little. Those ghouls will liven things up around here for a long time.
This lasts right up until the next time you come back to Tenpenny Tower and discover that while you were gone, the ghouls and humans had some kind of falling out, and now every human inhabitant of the tower is dead, and their stripped corpses are in a big pile in the basement.
Let's just say those two-faced smoothskins didn't like the new management, so they all got themselves evicted. Can't say it's a shame.
So I doomed the human residents of the tower, but the game says I didn't lose karma. So who's to say what's the right thing to do?
Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. That aside, I wonder what Shabriri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold.
Elden Ring is a From Software game, and as such, you should expect that anyone you try to help in any way will suffer a gruesome and horrifying death. With that in mind, let's talk about Lightseeker Hyetta, who I'm sure will make it out of this entry just fine.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hyetta, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light.
Hyetta is an aspiring finger maiden, meaning she seeks to serve the entity known as the Two Fingers, undertaking a journey towards distant light. Hyetta is blind, however, and says that grapes, of all things, briefly show her the way to go.
But when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes.
By this point in Elden Ring, you will have a Shabriri grape on hand, and if you've not played a From Software game before, you probably won't see the harm in helping someone out by giving them a harmless grape. You fool! Sorry, please go ahead.
Many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more.
Help Hyetta by tossing her a grape whenever you pick one up, and she will gradually move north on her quest towards the mystical distant light of which she speaks. As such, you can feel pretty good about this quest, unless you read the description of the Shabriri grapes you've been feeding her and discover that they are, in fact, human eyes. There it is. Thanks, FromSoft. Come clean to Hyetta about what it is she's actually been eating, and she'll start throwing up. Before, worryingly, doing a swift 180 and deciding that she's into it, actually.
I've gleaned something very important indeed, thanks to you. The reason why it was eyes I had to eat.
Before long, regular old eyeballs aren't doing it for Hyetta, and she asks for a fingerprint grape, which is a nice way of saying an eyeball from someone who's been grasped by the three fingers of the frenzied flame. It's like the Two Fingers, but there's three of them, and they're on fire and evil. This is when we realise that the distant light Hyetta was talking about is in fact the violent raging inferno of not the Two Fingers that you and your finger maiden Melina serve, but rather the Three Fingers, the guardian of the frenzied flame of madness. If you do decide to continue to try and help Hyetta start a new life as a finger maiden and inherit the curse of the frenzied flame yourself, Melina will leave your side in disgust.
You have inherited the frenzied flame. A pity. You are no longer fit.
This does create a job opportunity for Hyetta as your new finger maiden.
My eyes. My eyes. They're melting.
Which is unfortunately short-lived because she immediately catches fire and dies. Again, from Software game. I don't know what I was expecting.
But lady, that's the least of our problems.
Yeah?
Yeah. Something's on this station. Something you wouldn't believe.
While Alien Isolation literally has the word isolation in the title, that doesn't mean you're alone for the whole game. I mean, the alien's there for a lot of it as well. On the more friendly side of things is Axel, although I use the term friendly in a relative sense, as he does spend the majority of your first interaction pointing a gun at you.
A killer. You get it?
Okay.
Once you've convinced him that you can get him off the alien-infested station, however, Axel becomes your crotchety Scottish right-hand man, as you try to help him and yourself get to safety. Meanwhile, as you help him, he returns the favour. He clues you in on what's been going on in the station.
Everyone's running shit scared. Keep them to their own. Safer that way.
Gives you your flashlight.
It can get pretty dark around here. You should take that flashlight over there.
And teaches you how to deal with looters.
They're armed. Too many of them to take on.
But although your ultimate intention is to help Axel get off Sevastopol station and onto your ship, there is unfortunately one more lesson that he needs to teach you, and that is just how deadly the xenomorph can be. And regrettably for Axel, that is very much a practical lesson.
I got on me.
Still, I think we very much got the idea. So thanks for that, Axel. Friends till the end. Your end specifically.
Now, one hates to be coarse, but on the subject of ablutions, liquids over the side, solids, do your utmost to levy the situation until we land.
Okay, Mr. Bullard.
I had a client once who fell foul to a rotten oyster on the ascent. A decidedly harrowing experience for all involved.
The period in which Red Dead Redemption 2 is set was a time of great scientific and social change, meaning that there were a lot of jobs for people that hadn't existed before, such as electric chair inventor or giant therapist.
I've always wanted a real friend. Someone to discuss the human condition with, you know?
Another such novel profession of the era was that of hot air balloonist, the job held by one Arturo Bullard in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, it's a nice, fresh day for flying, sir. A day like today, and Icarus would have made it across the sea.
As you can see, Arturo is a gregarious, enthusiastic fellow who just seems to really love hot air balloons.
Are you sure about this?
Certain, sir. Quite certain. Mrs., let us away. Wish us luck. I've only crashed twice.
Keen to support a local businessman and help him live out his ballooning dreams, Sadie and Arthur hire Arturo for supposed hot air ballooning lessons. What they're actually up to is scouting out Sisika Penitentiary to help John Marston by A, seeing if he's still in there, and B, getting intel on how to get him out. But hey, it's still a paying customer.
See that building up ahead on the island? That's the infamous Sisika Penitentiary. We shouldn't fly too near to it though, sir.
Sorry, we're going in for a closer look.
Arturo, you're welcome. As you'd expect, flying a hot air balloon over a prison is something of a suspicious act, and so before long you and Arturo are experiencing more flying lead than a tornado in a pencil factory.
They're shooting at us!
I can see that.
Ascend! Ascend!
Miraculously, the unarmed and unprepared Arturo manages to survive this encounter you've unwittingly subjected him to, but then the two of you spot Sadie Adler being pursued by lawmen, and ever the gentleman, Arturo flies you in close so you can fend them off.
Hey, Sadie! Up there!
A kind gesture for which he receives 2 bullets to the chest and an 80-foot fall to the ground below. No! Well, at least his balloon survived.
a second. Scarlet, is that you?
Herbert from Borderlands 2 is a weird, skeevy old dude who's in love with Captain Scarlet. Sure.
You're not Scarlet, but I can taste her scent on you.
He also has part of the compass leading to a great treasure, and to be honest, we've done missions for worse people in Borderlands. Who are we kidding? At the behest of Captain Scarlet, we go to visit Herbert, and he's willing to offer up his compass piece. He just needs us to go get some adhesive to fix it up first.
Here you go, the last piece of the compass.
In return for Herbert's assumed cooperation, Scarlet has already given us a present to give to Herbert as a thank you for the compass.
Give Herbert that little gift I gave you and come on back.
Us, being the helpful sort, we're only too happy to now do Herbert a solid and hand deliver his gift to him. And so we fork over Herbert's reward, because we love to help out.
A gift? From Scarlet?
Only for it to detonate, blowing Herbert into a million pieces and, if we're honest, getting quite a lot of him all over our jacket.
Sorry about that, Herbert. Oh, I forgot to mention you were carrying a rather large bomb around with you, didn't I? Many apologies.
We've got to start getting a dry cleaning stipend added to our mercenary fees. These laundry costs are killing us.
Lisbon is near as large as London or Paris. Are you sure you can find this one place?
Saw it clear as day, Hope. It's a convent, right close by the harbor. I might have visited the sisters once or twice.
Given your present knowledge of the site, this duty falls upon you. You understand what must be done?
Find the precursor temple and retrieve the piece of Eden.
Assassin's Creed Rogue is like the gloomy goth cousin of the sunny tropical good times of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So it makes sense that this is the game in which you destroy an entire city while trying to do your job, causing the deaths of over 10,000 people.
The Royal Navy attack my vessel and force my men to flee. We are stranded, and what is worse, the smugglers we were supposed to meet have been taken prisoner.
Near the start of Rogue, you head to Lisbon, Portugal to retrieve a piece of Eden hidden underneath a church. A textbook Assassin's Creed situation, much like having a tender conversation with someone you've just stabbed, and surviving after jumping several stories into 6 inches of hay. Solve the church's puzzle and you'll head underneath to a precursor site and leave with the piece of Eden, which does complete your mission, but also does cause an enormous earthquake because of the great and terrible power of the precursors. So you take the good with the bad, I guess. This is an actual earthquake that happened in real life in the year 1755, and the quake, plus associated fires and a tsunami that followed, almost completely destroyed the city and caused somewhere between 12,000 and 15,000 deaths. So while you might have been trying to help the Order of Assassins by retrieving the piece of Eden, you did basically wipe Lisbon off the map and kill most of its inhabitants in the process. No wonder Shay quits the Assassins straight afterwards.
Do you swear to uphold the principles of our order? And all that for which we stand?
I do.
No, Shay, don't join another shadowy organisation. Honestly, I just can't with this guy.
Then we welcome you into our fold, brother.
Thank you so much for watching this video brought to you by OutsideXbox. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. And if you'd like to do something to help us that definitely guaranteed will not doom anyone, promise, we've got a couple of videos up here you can watch as well. There's one from us and one from our sister channel, Outside Extra. And if you'd like to support what we do, head over to patreon.com/OXClub and join our fan Discord.